Hungary has changed the name of the office of the Commissioner of Zakarpattia region. Now, instead of interfering in the internal affairs of Ukraine, the office will be preoccupied with furthering the cooperation of bordering Ukrainian and Hungarian regions.
A ferry country coursing between East and West. That is how Hungary was characterized by local poet Andrei Ade in 1905. Even 100 years since that, nothing has changed. On one hand, Hungary is EU and NATO member. On the other hand, Viktor Orban is close friend with Russia. This dualistic policy from the Hungarian leader is criticized both from outside of Hungary and from within.
BALAZS NEMETH, a representative of the Momentum movement opposition party in Hungary, believes that using the image of the enemy from without, rejecting European migrant policy, and the lack of checks and balances are the reasons that made Orban's election for prime minister for the fourth time possible.
The problem is that a lot of people, especially in the government, they want the European money but not the European values. It's really a lot about the distribution of resources. And the government controls everything and anything at this point. So they have the money, they have the media, they have the organization countrywide.
A journalist of the opposition newspaper NEMETH ONDRAZZ KOSA says that Russia influences the politics of Hungary and that this is the reason why Hungarian-Ukrainian relations have gotten worse.
What is fact that the only country that can exploit the situation for its own interests is Russia. How many times Mr. Orban and Mr. Putin has visited each other in the recent years? That Mr. Szijjártó frequently meets with Mr. Lavrov.
Budapest is blocking Ukrainian EU integration because of the country's new law on education. Hungary believes that the law violates the rights of minorities, especially the rights of Hungarians in the Zakarpattia region. KREKO, a director of the Independent Research Institute Political Capital, believes that such actions are inspired by Moscow.
The Hungarian government plays an identity game to gain domestic support on the one hand, because defending the ethnic Hungarians was always an important topic. I don't think it benefits the Hungarian foreign policy, because we will be more and more isolated within NATO for our obstructionist policies that are blocking the European Atlantic integration of NATO. So I think it benefits only one player, and this is Russia.
According to KREKO, the relationship between the Kremlin and the Hungarian government is based on economic interests. Russia is the main supplier of energy resources, yet NATO and EU membership defines the limits of such cooperation.
For example, when it comes to vote on sanctions, for example, about Russia, Hungary reluctantly supports them all the time. When it comes about supporting NATO missions, yes, he sends the troops and he's on the side of NATO.
The EU has many times criticized Orban's government for restricting free speech and freedom of press, shutting down NGOs, and firing independent judges. In the September 12th EU resolution, it is stated that Hungary is on the brink of digressing from the fundamental principles of democracy in the EU.